All praises be to the Most High. I am that I am. Ahaya Ashar Ahaya in the Hebrew. For those who don't know, right? We give all glory, honor, and praise to the Most High and to our King, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. If he is for us, who could be against us? Right? If he is for us, who could be against us? Wrong one, right? If he is for us, who could be against us? Listen, the Most High is truly a blessing. He's very wonderful. He's merciful, and y'all see the title of today's discussion. And this discussion, turn the music off for this. This discussion is gonna be what motivate us to get to the finish line. This discussion tonight, right? Being spiritually prepared to receive a physical salvation. But I want to have this conversation with you all. Staying spiritually prepared, or spiritual preparation, because it doesn't matter if you preparing physically. If you're not preparing spiritually, you ain't gonna make it to receive a physical salvation. And we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna give you some examples. And there's one character in particular that I want to hone in on, because we all, like, tonight we got to try to figure out who this guy is. We got to try to figure out who this man is. I'm not gonna put the cart before the horse, right? I ain't gonna spoil it yet, but we're gonna get right into it. But before we get right into it, let me play a little word from our sponsor.
Are you tired of reading the Bible and not really understanding what it means? Yo, you know you're reading the book upside down? I need a teacher. I got the perfect solution for you. The Hebrew and Bible Academy got you all covered. There, you'll learn the original Hebrew language with Elder Lawyer, groundbreaking news from around the world with Elder Shapat, and all new up-to-date lessons, including ancient history, with Elder Ricard. Visit us at historytimes.org and enroll there. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited.
Yes. As you all seen, the Hebrew and Bible Academy officially starts next week, Sunday, brothers and sisters, February 16th. And isn't it crazy? We're already in February. It's insane. But next week, February 16th, Sunday, February 16th at 9 a.m. will be the new installment of the Hebrew and Bible Academy, right? Another 12 weeks. So it's not too late to enroll. Visit us. Y'all see it here on the screen. Visit us at historytimes.org to enroll. Trust me, brothers and sisters, you don't want to miss what we're going to be going into this new installment and this time around. In-depth lessons, we're going to go into the origin of angels. You see that? The reason Adam fell. And I know everybody want to know that reason. We have everybody who speculate, why would the Most High tempt Adam? Why would the Most High put the tree in the middle of the garden if he know he was going to eat it? Listen, this is why you need to be in the academy to know why and how that tree got there, right? And we also got the true understanding of the Antichrist. Listen, ain't no boogeyman coming for you, right? Look around you. The world is Antichrist. Your government is Antichrist. But you'll learn that at the Hebrew and Bible Academy, right? The true doctrine to the Gentiles. Yes, Christ told us we must preach the gospel to the Jew and Gentile alike. To the Jew first and also to the Gentile. Get this understanding, right? And more live interviews to come. Trust me, y'all don't want to miss this. So please, brothers and sisters, visit us at historytimes.org. That's historytimes.org. All right, now that we got that out the way, all praises be to the Most High. Let's get into the topic of discussion. And before we do that, I pray, like I said, I pray everybody is doing well. I pray everybody doing blessed, right? I'm here nonetheless, and let's get into this word real quick. And what I want to do to start it off, I want this particular scripture to be the theme for what we're going to talk about today. I will put it on the screen for you all right here. Right? And this is a popular scripture that we should all know. And I want this to be the theme for us to understand why we're talking about the spiritual preparation. Why do we need to prepare spiritually? And like I said earlier, it don't matter if you're preparing on the physical, right? You could have your doomsday bunker, right? You could have your doomsday bunker. You could have your gold bags. You could have your 30 years worth of storage of food. What good is it? What good is having all of that if your spirit isn't intact? And I find that especially with people coming into the truth, learning about who they are, we tend to stray away from dealing with the issues that's plaguing us internally. It's like for some reason we all become police officers and we become cops, and we're looking at what the next person is not doing, as if that person will be getting judged with you on the day of judgment. So it's something, I believe that these kind of conversations is what's supposed to dial us back and to have us to reflect and look inwardly, because that's what it's all about. That's what Christ was mission. That's what he taught us, was how to self-reflect. But with that self-reflection, there's something that we have to also understand according to this world that we're living in, according to this time that we're living in. And a lot of y'all see it. And those of y'all who's in the know already know what time we're in. But if this is your first time listening to this kind of lesson or message, is your first time stumbling upon this church, you're going to find out that a lot of the things that our parents and grandparents been saying back then, saying, oh, we at the end times. No, for real. Now we really in the end times. We've been at the end. We just didn't see it before. But now it's even more evident than when our grandparents was telling us we was in the last days. Like, put it in the chat. How many of us remember always hearing growing up, baby, we in the last days? How many of us always heard that? But I want this particular scripture to be the topic, or I would say the area of understanding where we're gonna stay at. So Ephesians 6:12, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood." So this battle that we're up against, it's not against mere man or people or someone you can touch on the physical. And it may seem that that's contrary to what I'm saying right now, because when you step outside in the street, an altercation could break out between two people. And it seems as if it's just two people arguing, two complete strangers that don't. And y'all gotta look at it like this too. Why would two complete strangers who've never seen each other on, like, for example, like someone who has road rage, right? Let me use that as an example. Someone with road rage, two people get into an altercation because you cut me off, whatever the case is. Now these two people is in the middle of the street, light is green, fighting, getting ready to take each other out because what you did to me 2 lights ago. But think about it like this, brothers and sisters. How could two people who've never met each other, never seen each other, be that angry with each other? Think about that. I've never seen this person a day in my life, but yet because of an altercation, now I feel like I want to take this person out. We fighting. I got this built up anger about this person, a complete stranger that I don't know, I've never met. That's because you got to understand this. The battle is not really flesh and blood. It's really spiritual. There's spirits at work that's waiting for us to interact in that type of manner, to step in and to cause destruction, shed blood. So when the scriptures tells us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, that's on every aspect of this life. So it's always best to take a step back. Even if somebody crossed you wrong, said something to you wrong, did something to you, you got to always give people the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, you're not at war with that person. You don't know that person. Keep it in mind. I don't know you. I never seen you a day in my life. Now the question is, what's at work that's allowing me to feel this type of anger towards an individual I've never met before? Right? It's crazy. Two people who've never seen each other, just angry, want to fight and kill each other. Right? So it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities," right? Against powers, right? Against the rulers of the darkness of this world. So this scripture right here is already telling us that the rulers of this world are in high level darkness, like a darkness that we've never seen. A scary movie can't even depict the type of darkness that we're up against. I don't care how many scary movies you watch. It'll never compare to the amount of darkness that this world is being ran by. Right? It says against, listen what it says, spiritual wickedness. And you see, a lot of people don't understand that there is a spiritual side to this life. It's not just all physical. I would say the physical part of this life is probably like less than 30% of our existence. Once you start going into the scriptures and you actually understand that, the physical is really nothing. It's really nothing. How many years do you actually get in the physical? 70, 75 years, 80 if you're lucky, 90 to 100 if you're blessed, compared to eternity. So the physical is not really the bulk of our existence. It's like less than 10%, less than 20%, I should say, of our existence. The rest is eternity. So it says against spiritual wickedness in high places, not low places, meaning you're not going to be able to speak to somebody in the hood and they'll be able to break down what's going on behind closed doors in the government. Your neighborhood philosopher is not going to be able to philosophize this spiritual darkness. Only the Most High can. Right. So I want you guys to keep that scripture in mind, because we're going to actually come back to this particular chapter. And like I said earlier, so mind you, we're focusing on spiritual preparation. And we need to figure out how to spiritually prepare, because like we speak about all the time on this channel, and like we speak about all the time on these broadcasts. Right now, we're counting down to 2030. And that's been the theme that I've been harping on for the past 2 years now. Right? Been harping on this thing. The race to 2030. So now, with this new presidential election, and it's funny how we just read the scripture, but now we're starting to understand this spiritual wickedness in high places. What's the highest place that one could get or could reach or could obtain in this particular society or in this world? Politics. Once you get into politics, you're one step closer to that spiritual wickedness in high places. So if you don't understand politics, or you don't understand the government structure, you will never understand the spiritual wickedness that we're up against. You'll never understand it. Right? Now we understand why now it's starting to make more sense to why they say there must be a separation between church and state. Why? Why must we separate church and state? One might ask. What's the reason behind that? Right? Why should we have to separate the understanding between church and state? Because the church would be the only vehicle or the only weapon to identify this spiritual wickedness in high places. And not just any church, brothers and sisters. Christ's church. Hope that makes sense to y'all. Christ's church. That's the only church that will be able to break down and to identify this spiritual wickedness. I hope y'all following me. So like I said, there's this one individual that I feel like, we got to figure out who this person is. Because he just came out of nowhere. I got to put him on the screen for y'all. I have to put him on the screen so that way you guys could understand who it is I'm talking about. Elon Musk. And for some reason, this guy I don't know. I don't know where he came from. If anybody know the research on this guy, you know, put it in the chat. I don't know where this guy came from. I don't know who he is. I mean, we know who he is now. But I don't know anything about this guy.